In the peaceful, forgotten town of Maplewood, where whispers of secrets and shadows danced through the streets, a peculiar occurrence unfolded one chilling autumn evening. The town's cobblestone streets lay still under the silvery light of the full moon when a mysterious edifice, the never-ending library, materialized at the heart of the town square. Its towering shelves seemed to stretch infinitely upward, disappearing into darkness. The door creaked open without human touch, and curious townsfolk, compelled by an otherworldly curiosity, dared to enter. The library's interior was a surreal maze of dimly lit aisles lined with ancient tomes. Each book, bound in black leather, bore a name and a story that unfolded in meticulous detail as if inked by a supernatural hand. The stories within revealed the intimate, hidden lives of Maplewood's residents with a bizarre twist. They detailed lives and deaths that hadn't yet come to pass. Lucy Porter, the town's young schoolteacher, discovered a book bearing her name. She couldn't resist opening it. As she turned the pages, she was confronted with horrifying visions of her own death, a scene that would unfold before her very eyes should she step back into the world outside. Her heart raced and she trembled, for the library's predictions had been eerily accurate for those who had entered its enchanting labyrinth. Each resident found their life story within the never-ending library, a tome of both fate and doom, a binding contract to the macabre future outlined within. The townsfolk trembled at the knowledge of their imminent demise, yet the library's strange allure compelled them to linger. They studied their books, hoping to avert their preordained ends. One thing was certain: the librarian of the never-ending library knew more than anyone would like. A tall, shadowy figure, draped in inky black robes, dwelled at the center of the labyrinthine library. Her eyes, black as the void, held secrets of untold power, and a cruel smile played on her lips as she observed the trapped souls within her mystical domain. Townspeople, in the grip of terror and curiosity, ventured deeper into the library, seeking a way to change their destinies. They came to understand that every action they took, every decision they made, only served to solidify the grim future laid out in their books. The librarian, a silent guardian of this bizarre repository, would offer cryptic advice, drawing them further into a macabre game. As the town's fear and desperation deepened, the library became a sinister place, a beacon of dread and despair. People tried to resist their fates, taking drastic measures to change the course of their lives. Lucy, who had foreseen her own death, desperately tried to change her story, but each attempt only brought her closer to the horrifying end the book had foretold. As days turned to weeks, Maplewood descended into chaos. The library's never-ending shelves seemed to twist and turn, creating labyrinthine corridors that led people astray. Some tried to burn their books, only to find them unscathed, their stories now marked by the scars of their futile efforts. The librarian, ever watchful, revealed herself as the embodiment of the town's darkest secrets. She had been an ancient resident, cursed to guard the library, a repository of both past and future. Her knowledge was her curse, and she took perverse pleasure in watching the townsfolk's futile struggles. The town was on the brink of madness, but salvation arrived from an unexpected source. A stranger, a wandering scholar with knowledge of the occult, entered the town and made his way to the library. He challenged the librarian, unraveling the dark enchantments that bound the books and revealing the truth behind the never-ending library. The library's power was fueled by fear and despair, a self-fulfilling prophecy. The scholar convinced the townsfolk to reject their predetermined fates and embrace hope. Together, they rebelled against the foretold stories in their books, and the library's magic began to wane. As the librarian's power diminished, her malevolent hold over Maplewood faded. The never-ending library started to crumble, its shelves collapsing into the abyss from which it had emerged. The librarian's form, once imposing, withered into a wisp of darkness, and she whispered a cryptic warning before vanishing forever. The town of Maplewood was free from the sinister grip of the never-ending library, but the scars it had left behind were deep. The townsfolk had learned that destiny was not a predetermined path, but a journey they could shape for themselves. They would forever carry the weight of what they had seen and the choices they had made, for they had glimpsed the horrors of fate and the power of hope. Years later, the never-ending library remained but a hazy memory in the town's collective consciousness. It stood as a monument to the enduring power of hope and the indomitable spirit of Maplewood's residents who had defied fate itself to forge their own destinies.